Sibidim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend be no cape. And some informer friend we love lake. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV. Check it.
Good morning and welcome. My camera has frozen, so you won't see me on screen today. Hurricane Beryl has made its way across the Caribbean and is still moving, leaving in its track devastation and disaster behind. This morning, we will look at Hurricane Beryl and the devastation it's left behind, as well as we will keep an eye on, as well as we'll keep our eyes on the live images coming out of the out of all those street cameras in Jamaica, particularly in Kingston and so on. We will definitely keep an eye on that. We hope Jamaicans at home follow the instructions given by the state and make sure they make all the necessary preparation in order to keep them and their family foremost safe. Where you can protect property, you do so, but the property is not on the emergency list of protection. It's protection of life and persons. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to all my family and my community of party, all my moderator, platform membership holders, viewers, and subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good morning and welcome. It is a trying time for the Caribbean at the moment, and all we can do is pray and hope for the best while this storm passes through the Caribbean. Debbie Jervis, good morning. Natalia Freeman, Sunshine. Marcia Thomas. Morning. Violet Watson. Morning. Patricia Matthews. Good morning. Gloria Morris. Ebenezer Cody. Agency Driver 5, how are you? Sonia Foster. Paula Shelley, Conjugality for Miranda Ruddock, Elaine Turner, Yvonne Johnson, JP, Sheena Kelly. Good morning, all. Shirley Higgs, good morning. Good morning and welcome. Michelle Clark. Don Fox, good morning. Rosie D. Rose. Jesus Love Me, good morning. Colleen Richards, good morning. Pamela Akola, good morning. Beat and Teach, good morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. It is a period of national emergency. So, Jason Kane, let's listen to the direction and instructions given to the nation from the Prime Minister over yesterday evening.
CARICOM heads this morning, we were briefed on the destructive impact of the hurricane on our Eastern Caribbean sister islands. We expressed our solidarity and willingness to support, even as we make our own preparations. Jamaica must take this hurricane seriously. Early this morning, the Cabinet reviewed our plans to manage the threat of the hurricane, and a caucus of Parliament was also briefed on our state of readiness and the provisions for emergency response. In this regard, the government has made a special allocation of $5 million per constituency to assist with emergency cases for food and building supplies through the Constituency Development Fund, the CDF. After careful review of the trajectory of the storm, the likely strength and impact, the potential threats emanating, and having been notified in writing by the Minister responsible for disaster preparedness and emergency management, I am now declaring the whole of Jamaica to be a disaster area in accordance with Section 26 of the Disaster Risk Management Act for the next 7 days. All Jamaica should note that following on this declaration, an island-wide curfew will be in effect between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, the 3rd of July, 2024. This is to ensure the safety of everyone during the passage of the storm and prevent any movement with the intent to carry out criminal activity. An evacuation order on the direction of authorized officers is also in effect for flood-prone and landslide-prone areas, areas at or below sea level, and areas at or close to gullies or waterways. We urge all Jamaicans to comply with notices to evacuate if and when they are issued. However, even without the issuance of notice, if you live in a low-lying area and an area is historically prone to flooding and landslide, or if you live on the banks of a river or a gully, I implore you to evacuate to a shelter or to safer ground. The Minister with responsibility for commerce will also make an order under Section 8 of the Trade Act to prevent price gouging of essential goods during a period of disaster. The Minister of Transport has also made arrangements with the operators of the east-west and north-south toll highways to give free access to the toll road between the hours of 6 p.m. and midnight today, July 2nd, 2024. This is to ensure that all Jamaicans who are currently on the road are able to get home safely and conveniently. The details of the various orders will be gazetted, published in our media, and posted on various government websites. The situation, as you can imagine, is dynamic, and the government continues to monitor developments and will provide regular updates. The entire government and all relevant personnel are in a state of readiness to manage the disaster. ODPEM is leading the National Disaster Response. The National Emergency Operations Center, the NEOC, has been activated, and all relevant agencies are on high alert. Now, as we brace for the potential impacts of Hurricane Beryl, we also need our Jamaican household, our Jamaican family, you, to be prepared. It is imperative that we remain calm. Now, it's not a time for panic. Now, here are some very important steps that each of us should take to ensure our safety and the safety of our loved ones. First thing, stay informed. Regularly check reliable sources of information, getting your updates on the progress of the hurricane, tune into your local news stations, listen to the radio, and follow official social media channels such as the Jamaica Information Service for the latest information. The Met Service and the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management will provide timely updates. Second, create an emergency plan. Discuss with your family and loved ones what actions to take in the event of an emergency. Identify your strongest room in the house, your safe room, where you can take shelter during the storm. Ensure that everyone knows the location of emergency supplies, such as flashlights, batteries, and first aid kits. This can be a particularly fearful time for our children. Take some time to reassure and comfort them and explain to them what is happening. Third, stock up on essential items. By now, you should have your emergency supply kit with enough food, water, medication, and necessities to last for at least 3 days. And this should include items such as non-perishable food, bottled water, your prescription medications, toiletries, and important documents should be in waterproof containers. Fourth, secure your property. Take steps to protect your home from potential damage. You should, by now, would have already pruned the trees around your home, and you would have secured loose items that could become projectiles in high wind. Given the projected strength of the hurricane, protecting your roof is a critical part of your preparations. Fifth, know emergency numbers. You should familiarize yourself with emergency contact numbers and have them readily available. The following numbers are crucial during this time: police, fire, and ambulance, that is, of course, 119, weather updates, 116, ODPEM, 876-906-9674, the Jamaica Red Cross, 876-984-7860, and, of course, the JPS, 1-888-225-5577. That is 1-888, call JPS. Now, during the passage of the hurricane, there may be loss of electricity and water. The emergency services will seek to restore power and water as quickly as possible. However, citizens should not seek to remove down poles or power lines or disturb water mains. Please use the emergency numbers given to report damage to public utilities and do not take unnecessary risks. Additionally, the JCF and the JDF will be fully mobilized to maintain public order and assist with disaster relief as soon as the hurricane has passed. The security forces have developed strategic plans to counter any potential threat of looting or any other opportunistic crimes during this period. Hurricane Beryl is the earliest Category 5 hurricane on record. It highlights the growing impact of climate change on global weather patterns, particularly on small island developing states like Jamaica. While our carbon emissions are minuscule, our region bears the brunt of the impacts of climate change. The hurricane further highlights the urgent need for global climate action and targeted support to enhance resilience against the escalating dangers of climate change. Your government understands that we live in a time of overlapping crises and unpredictable external shocks not of our making. This means that as a government, as a people, we must be resilient. We must build the capacity to absorb shocks and recover quickly. We have been through disasters in recent years, including a pandemic, and we have recovered quickly. We have been mainstreaming climate resilience in all our plans and programs, including the design and construction of our new infrastructure, our fiscal arrangements, and in our national security planning. We continue to build our reserves to ensure protection against both low and high frequency events. By any measure, as a country, we are more prepared than at any time in our history to handle these shocks. Nevertheless, we know that it will bring difficult times during the impact and during the recovery. However, if we bond together as a people, and each of us commit to act as responsible citizens, we can get through this and recover quickly. Let us do all we can to preserve life. Listen to the warnings. Act wisely. Put away violent response to conflicts that may occur in crises. Let's commit to being our brother's keeper. Look out for our neighbor, the elderly and infirm. Now is the time that we need community. It is a spirit of community that will pull us through. I know there are many Jamaicans praying right now. Please continue to lift up Jamaica in prayers. With the blessing of God on the vessel of preparation we have made, we will safely ride out this storm.
Good news, hurricane.
Despite the trying time the country is going through, the Prime Minister optical face is something to die for. But good morning and welcome to all. Thank you for joining us. We're on our hurricane watch this morning. It's not a program where some people would deem as interested. To my audience on the X, thank you all very much for being here. We really appreciate your support. To the globalist audience on the X, thank you very much for being here. Let's look at some of the devastation that the storm has left in its path. And by the way, if anyone wants to call in from Jamaica this morning or from anywhere in the Caribbean, if you're listening, to tell us what it is like in your area at the moment. Have you started feeling the effects of the storm? Or if you're in the Eastern Caribbean, have you felt the effect of the storm? What damage has it done in your neck of the woods? The images coming out of Carriacou on the eastern side of Grenada, most of Carriacou has been flattened. Most of the eastern side of Carriacou has been flattened.
Hold on the other side now.
The death toll from Hurricane Beryl is rising, with fear that will continue as the powerful storm destroys island communities in the Caribbean.
The island has been flattened. The reports that are coming out show a very, very distressing signal.
Beryl has left parts of St. Vincent and the Grenadines with no electricity or water. Buildings, homes, and boats all torn to pieces. In Barbados, people are struggling to cope with the devastation.
This is madness. I have never seen this in my 46 years of life. This is madness.
The powerful hurricane is making history as the earliest Category 5 storm in the Atlantic hurricane season, with unusually warm waters adding fuel to the storm system. Jamaican officials are activating disaster response protocols in anticipation of Wednesday's landfall. They're warning people about life-threatening winds and storm surge.
The weeks and the months ahead, as the islanders try to recover what they can of their lives and livelihoods, will be a significant challenge for them.
I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
That small island of Grenada was in the direct path of a massive hurricane. This cell phone video was taken off of Elaine Pesto's balcony.
It was nerve-wracking.
Pesto says she's in Grenada for work. She says she and other travel agents tried getting off the island before the hurricane hit, but nothing was available, so she was forced to stay.
You know, they reassure you that it's going to be fine, everything's going to be fine, but you don't really know if it's going to be fine.
According to Pesto, the island completely shut down at 7 p.m. while her hotel made them stay in their rooms after 9 o'clock for safety reasons.
The first thing they asked is for us to remove all of our patio furniture, bring it inside, and then in some of the buildings, maintenance was going to come in and actually tape up the glass, sliding glass windows.
But despite having to endure the storm, Pesto says she's happy she went through it and doesn't want this to stop people from traveling.
This was an anomaly of a storm. We know that it's made, all kinds of records or whatever. But I don't want it to deter people to travel because this is an amazing country, amazing people. When we were in St. Lucia, the same thing, just an incredible part of the world.
In Jamaica are being told to prepare for life-threatening winds and storm surge.
People in our area are concerned about loved ones bracing for the storm. CBS News Philadelphia reporter Kim Hudson spoke with a local chef and restaurant owner. She continues our coverage from Corrida's Caribbean Cuisine.
I mean, it's kind of nerve-wracking.
Corrida Matthews is nervous and torn. She's trying to focus on her customers as owner of Corrida's Caribbean Cuisine in the
To those of who may want to call and is confused of how to dial the number, I've changed the first number in the way it ought to be dialed or saved in your phone. The plus you can replace with a 0, but it is +1144, which is the UK code, and then you continue on with 75511-831-31, or it is 01144-755-118-31-31. So the UK code is either 01144 or +1144.
terminal market while also worrying about her family back home in Jamaica.
Right now we're doing WhatsApp and Facebook because calling the lines are jammed.
Hurricane Beryl has devastated part of the Caribbean, including Grenada, and is now charging toward her home country.
All my employees are Jamaicans, so as you can imagine, everybody has the same kind of thought. Is my family going to be okay? Do they have enough food, water?
In between serving customers, Matthews tries to take calls from family. That is, if the connection holds up.
Got 3 phone calls, it keeps cutting off.
Still, Matthews tries to give warm and speedy service during the lunch rush. Then, a customer who overheard our interview
The house is being obliterated.
2 people have died as Hurricane Beryl rips through the Caribbean. Now upgraded to a Category 5, it is the earliest such storm ever to form in the Atlantic, and experts say that it has been fueled by record warm waters. A hurricane warning is in force for Jamaica after it left a trail of destruction in Grenada and St. Vincent. Our science correspondent Martin Stew has more.
Winds up to 160 miles per hour have battered the islands to the southeast of the Caribbean. Trees bent by Beryl's hurricane force, homes flattened and flooded.
I didn't think that the damage would be so much. I just come to open the shop to check on it, but now I realize it is much more than I thought.
At least 2 people have died. Hundreds more have been moved to emergency shelters. From space, you can see the sprawling scale of the hurricane. Upgraded to a Category 5 overnight, it is the earliest time in the year a cyclone of this power has ever been recorded in the Atlantic. The storm's energy powered and prolonged by unusually warm ocean temperatures.
You know, there's still a lot that we need to learn about how global warming impacts hurricanes, that some studies show that there'll be fewer storms, but more intense storms in the Atlantic. As a community, kind of have a consensus now that we see that there's definitely more rapid intensification and more intense, higher end storms.
In these relatively poor nations, industries and livelihoods have been battered by storm surges from the ocean they rely on.
So many people have lost their boats, and all the boats in the water now are being destroyed because they're clashing against one another. There's nothing more we can do but stand and watch total destruction. Our livelihood going down the drain.
The destruction isn't done yet. Beryl is now tracking towards Jamaica before it's forecast to lose power over Mexico on Thursday night. Martin Stew, ITV News.
So with all that, we're hoping that the people of Jamaica has taken warning. These are some live images we are tapping into from Sea Jamaica. These are around the corporate area and all sorts. At the moment, we have images from Halfway Tree also. But we're monitoring what is going on in Jamaica this morning. This morning is really not the morning to play all-out politics. It is about the life of the people of Jamaica and the wider Caribbean. All of us, lot of us, most of us do have our relatives back home that will have to bear the brunt of this storm, really, and we would want to know that our family members and everyone across the island has taken all the necessary measures to make sure we pass through the storm safely. It is expected, based on all the information coming out, to really, for Jamaica to really feel the brunt of the storm throughout this evening. The fact that it is calm in some areas in Jamaica now, one should not be misguided by such, as we are all aware of the phrase, there is a storm before the calm. So therefore, this is the time for you to make all the necessary preparations that you can certainly make sure that your family, your property, household, and everywhere is being secured. We know this is something that we will go through, but what we are hoping for is that we can go through without any major incidents or loss of life. So we are hoping that everybody would have taken the warnings seriously, especially for my family who lives on coastline Jamaica. It is not a time for you all to take such risk. It is really not the time to take the risk. It is best that we follow all the instructions that we ought to follow in order to make sure we are protected. Make sure you check on the elders in your local area. Make sure those who require evacuation is probed and assisted to do so. You know, some of the people them, when it comes to the evacuation process in a storm, we can be really, really stubborn. So we are hoping that people follow the instructions in order to limit any massive loss. If you're in Jamaica and your area, parish, community have started experiencing any of this weather, we would really like to know. We would really like to know if you have started experiencing any wind or any rain within your vicinity. We really want to know. The main important thing this morning is that our people keeps themselves safe and out of harm's way. Prioritize your life, not your properties. Prioritize your life. You will always rebuild. Let me see from this end. Not a lot going on yet with regards to the weather, but one shouldn't be misguided by that, because let me see what storm chasers are saying. Bear with me, people. I'm just going all over the place to look at any new updates coming out of the storm. But I'm almost certain we're going to come back this evening during the drive time slot to monitor these cameras across Jamaica, as we expect the wind and rain speed to pick up anytime after midday going forward for most of the country. Yeah, we're on the 7 days of curfew. It was expected. Alison Hamilton, how are you? Long time no see. No rain in St. Mary looking on my cam. Okay. If you're in Jamaica and you have already started to experience the weather, let us know what it's like in your neck of the woods. What experience are you having at the moment? Are you experiencing any rain? Are you experiencing any wind? Has it started becoming dark over your area of Jamaica? Let us know what is going down at the moment. Hold on this. Let me see what this Indian broadcaster is saying. Or are they tapping into our cameras as well, like everybody? Let me see. Like and share the live, please. Oh yeah, crew's tapping into the same live cameras we're tapping into. But we won't see much of an action on those live cameras across Jamaica. For now, it will be more in the afternoon onwards. We expected to see rain, a battering of rain and wind across the island. Nice and clear in Kingston, Jennifer Simpson said. It's calm and sunny for me under the hurricane watch in came on. Okay. Just a little rain about 3 a.m. Good morning, Jamaica. Please, JPS said it will not turn off. Well, all of these people are there. Well, they're ready and they're prepared. JPS, Flow, Digicel, all of these people, they're saying we're ready and we're prepared. I noticed the National Solid Waste Management is quickly going around the island, clearing up those rubbish that have been piled up for a year, because you know those can become dangerous flying missiles all over the place. So at least something is happening. We'll make them sit there. The rubbish needs to clear. So they are clearing that in order to limit the damage and debris swung all over the country, especially in our township areas where they are in a bad condition with overly piled up rubbish. No problem, Lilith. That's fine. Lilith Tuckaby, no problem. That's fine. Megavolt, are you here? I want to speak to you, but I want to do it when you're here. Jennifer said lots of rubbish in my area. Well, they're telling us in the Gleaner that they are clearing this and they're clearing that. We are hoping that they clear as much of the debris they can clear across the country before this afternoon, because we don't have an awful lot of time. And I noticed the Prime Minister has given what, 5 million from the Constituency Development Fund for what you call that type of relief, disaster relief. I'm hoping whatever disaster is to be tended to, given it's an election year, we take the politics out of it and deal with the issue in a prioritized way. Those who are most affected is being given more resource and priority. Those who have children or elderly with them are given priorities and not using this moment as we have used others to play politics. I'm only hoping we try to step away from that and make it about the people and not really about us. You know, I'm hoping we can keep it to that. But what is going on here? What is going on here? Hallelujah. Bear with me, my peeps. This thing is, I don't know why this one is playing up. This one is playing up. I want to share this one. It's not allowing me to do a wide screen. What is wrong with you? Yes, that's you there. That's you there. Yes, that is the one. So if you are just joining us, we're keeping an eye on. I just hate to hear certain man called, don't want to hear that name on my device. Why we have to deal with him till September, so life. We have to deal with him till next year, September. If something not cause to get rid of him earlier, we're going to have to just grunt and bear it, as Granny would have said. We're just going to have to grunt and bear it till next year, September. That's the time when we guarantee we should be stepping out of Babylon. We should be stepping out of Babylon by hopefully. Hopefully by then we should be stepping out of Babylon. But if we grunt and bear it for now, and like how you see my walk and I whip him finger and I say, I, it sweet me. Look how much we're going to have to share up and distribute. It sweet me. So we have to take that into consideration. Why this thing is jumping all over the place? We have to take that into consideration. The numbers on the screen if you want to call. It's 01144 7956 907 089. You can call us on WhatsApp, or you can also call us in Telegram. We are tapping into images live from Jamaica. We expect Hurricane Beryl to start showing its effects across the island anytime after midday based on the information coming out of the sources. We will continue to keep an eye on Jamaica throughout the day, and we will bring you any images from the Jamaica, whatever available image we can bring comes later on. We will certainly aim to do so. But at the moment, we are watching what is going on in Jamaica, and we are also as well hoping for the best today while this storm passes through our island. But if you are in Jamaica and you are already experiencing the storm, the early effects of the storm, any dark clouds, rain, wind, please let us know. Have the drains in your area been cleared? Are you living on low line? Have you followed the information from government? Have you evacuated yet? If you need to. Have the elders in your community been evacuated? Let me take the time to big up some people who have flown past me while I've been here. Noreen Dennison, Curiosity Kids, Blue Wave, Darth Brown, These a Jerk World, Jennifer Simpson, Christopher Campbell, Voice of Reasoning. Who else? Who else have I seen? Tony Tall, how you do, bro? Who else? Christine Gilbert, Lilith Lockerbie. Jamaican Carlos, what go on? I never even see for you there. I told me I roll back to my comments. You know, what go on, bro? Bros, how are you? Rain heavily and wind in a compound last night. Still overcast with little drizzle. As per usual, they are making preparation as a community effort under the leadership of our Chief Curry. Big up to Chief Curry, his ambassadors, and the people of their compound town. Hold on. I have to call back this person that called. Somebody was calling. Which number? Let me see. Which number the call was coming on? A call was coming, or is it was coming in straight? No, they were calling direct. Some people have the issue of having difficulties finding me on WhatsApp. Let me store this person number and then try to call them back on WhatsApp where it's easier for them because they were trying to call internationally. Bear with. International call. This one. This person seems to have this person don't seem to have WhatsApp. Caller ending with 3107. If you could call back, please, because you're not on WhatsApp. I've tried to make that contact, and I've saved your number to call back on WhatsApp, but you're not on WhatsApp. You're not on WhatsApp, and it's expensive to call us direct unless you have free international calls. But I can't seem to find you on WhatsApp. It's like that some people also have difficulty finding me on WhatsApp as well. All right, we'll hope they'll call back or something. Yes, we are looking into images coming out of Jamaica from our See Jamaica broadcaster. James, how are you? Fitzroy Samuels, good morning. Hello, good morning. This is Global Television. You called us?
Yes, I was trying to call you, but I want to talk to you off here.
Okay, I will call you back after the show then.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. We're hoping for the best for all our people. We hope that you follow all the necessary precautions. Norman Ferguson, Robert Honeywell, how are you? All the necessary precautions, Raymond G, that will protect life and person. We also advise, Janet Riley, that you protect the roofing of your property. If you know that your building is not strong enough to withstand the force of the storm, Jamaican foodie, then you ought to follow the necessary evacuation procedure from your local municipal. Sharon Peart, how you do? But we want to make sure everybody, everybody is safe throughout this time. Halfway 3 this morning is very ghost town looking like. This time of the morning there would be more movement. Halfway 3, but as you know, the country is under stay one place till we're telling them to move again. So you know we have a 7-day where Jamaica is declared as a disaster zone. So for the next 7 days, there will be curfew. Within all of that as well, we will be making sure to look at the rights of the people and make sure government does not breach or extend any legal breaches of your rights during this period where we are experiencing this storm. If there have to be breaches of our rights, it must be justified in the interest of public protection. And that is one of the things that we will be keeping a close eye on to make sure. Kate M. Wagwan, Karen Wagwan, bro, Kevin Davis. Maybe it's your internet and so on, Karen, because nobody else not really having that problem. Have you when you start experience any form of weather down a party yet? Let me know if you start getting the bad weather down there yet. Or if you this man when me talk to Auntie Mary and them down a seaside, things was relatively calm, but I'm not expecting a lot before. You should all be aware that Karen Forbes is my brother. I'm not looking to see things really happening much before what's you call it? Before midday and so on. But still monitoring from all of the cameras that we can tap into around the corporate area this morning. We hope the place getting darker and the breeze a little stronger. Okay. Now, in some of our police officers, they will want to be step their ground while carrying out their duties. This is one of the things that Jamaica must also use their phones for at the moment in the next 7 days where the country is a disaster zone and a curfew over the country. You must use your mobile phone to protect yourself from any breaches from the government. Any breach to your right, your mobile phone is a protector for that. And we urge that you make sure you use your mobile phone as a weapon in that way to protect you or highlight any arbitrary police abuse. Noreen Dennison, good morning. But first and foremost, we are urging the people of Jamaica to make sure your safety comes first. Anything hanging about in the yard where the breeze lift up and knock out your window, those things must be moved to a safe place or they must be secured in a way where they do not maximize danger to property or person. Let's see. But we are some parts of the country seem to start having bitter rain and with a mix of wind. We expect that to escalate as the hours progresses. But we will no doubt try to bring you as much update out of Jamaica today. We know that the system for a lot of people across our country might be down given the pending devastation. Power lines and cable lines may be down where it would and could affect the services across the country for hours. But for those of us outside of Jamaica, I'm sure on a day like today, where practicable possibly, we will be making contacts with our relatives as often as possible to make sure, despite the circumstances, they are keeping safe until the storm blows over. So that is the first and foremost for us this morning, is sending out our best wishes to the people of Jamaica, including our families and friends all across the island, as well as extensively to the wider Caribbean, who has already felt the brunt of Hurricane Beryl, expected to hit Jamaica at a lower strength than it hit some of our Caribbean neighbors over the last 24 hours, but nevertheless is still one of a destructive slot. Let's listen to this video for now.
Not enough. It's still as strong as Gilbert was, and Gilbert devastated Jamaica back in 1988. And that's exactly where it's headed for today. I'm meteorologist Todd Gross. It is July 3rd. I'll take a look at Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and the Yucatan Peninsula. Let's hit the charts. So on this satellite photograph, this is a depiction of the storm. This is the eye right there. Jamaica is located right here on the left-hand side of your screen. It's moving directly for the south coast of Jamaica. That's not good because the strongest is just on the north side of the eye right here. That puts that...
Cousin, welcome. Karen say up a road side, start have like a drizzle and look a bit of breeze. Update me pan walk going down a seaside. Heart of love, Sister K. Heart of love. How are you, my sis? How are you? I hope everybody in Jamaica at the moment make sure they do all the necessary, head teacher, to protect themselves and protect lives throughout the next few hours. What we hope to, what we are expected to go through. Hang in there, sis, hang in there. Heart of love, heart of love. More strength to you, head teacher. Let's continue to listen. This man giving us some update on the trajectory of the storm.
Right into Jamaica later today, starting late this morning. Even by noontime, you'll already start feeling the effects of the storm. And then this afternoon, you'll get the worst of the storm. Now, while I'm most concerned about the eastern tip of Jamaica, and also right here, this bay that's around Lionel Town, the water's going to come right in there. You have a 6 to 9 foot storm surge at least coming in right here as the storm passes just to the south of that peninsula. So that's the worst, but the entire island will be affected. In terms of the wind, you will be somewhat protected in Kingston by the Blue Mountains to the east because the wind will be coming out of the east for most of the storm. And it does appear to me that you will have some protection from the wind from the mountains. But other than that, in terms of the storm surge, that's not looking good. That looks like it'll be very, very significant. There'll be heavy rains also in those mountains, so there'll be flooding coming out of the mountains, and there'll be other places that come flooded as well. The other good news is it's moving very, very fast. It will be a brief storm, but it will be a devastating hit because the speed of the storm is also going to be keeping it very strong on the north side. It's a little hard to explain, but when a storm is blowing by very quickly like that, it does tend to hit you harder than when it's just lumbering along. So it will be a hard, quick hit, then it will get out of here tonight, that is Wednesday night. Now, as for Wednesday night, the Cayman Islands are next. The storm should weaken a little bit more by the time it gets to the Cayman Islands and a little more again by the time it gets to the Yucatan. Now, Cancun is right there. It's on the edge of where all these tracks, the possible tracks are what we're showing you right here. And Cancun is likely to be just on the northern edge of the storm. You may not get a direct hit from it, plus it will be weaker by then. And then on to Texas, it does look like it may get to Brownsville or that vicinity or even curve up towards Galveston. We'll have to see. We're not sure about that. And that would be over the weekend. That would be like Friday night, Saturday. Now, I want to wish our friends in Jamaica the best of luck. I know you won't be able to communicate later today. Communications will go down. The electricity is going to go down. So the best of luck. Please follow the advice of local officials. I know there's no mandatory evacuation. That's what I've heard anyway. But please be extra safe. Take this storm very seriously. It's likely to be just a hair below Gilbert when it gets there. And you know what Gilbert did back in 1988. So please take care of yourselves. Good luck. God bless.
Well, I've been monitoring this tree from morning. And I can definitely see when the tree comes back, you will see. I can definitely see changes in the wind, given I have been monitoring this particular tree from morning. It will come back in view soon. It will come back in view soon. So that is showing me that the wind speed is slightly increasing based on the movement of the tree that I have been monitoring from this morning. But as I said, we'll continue to monitor these cameras across the country throughout the day, particularly from midday onwards, to see the change in pattern or how long the system will be able to hold up and give us some views, as well as how long flow and Digicel system will be able to keep up so we can keep in contact with our relatives over the next few hours. Yes, this is the tree I have been monitoring from morning, and you can see by looking at it, the wind is quite much picking up, because early this morning monitoring this tree, it was pretty much still and not moving the leaves or mainly pushing and focusing to one direction at the moment. So that alone tells me that the wind speed is picking up. Let's look at halfway tree and see what is going on in halfway tree at the moment. People are still tickering. Maybe I get one and few I'm aware I haven't seen anything from KSMC, but I'm sure KSMC and others would make preparation, because I see where the mayor of Montego Bay has made preparation for all homeless people to stay at. Is it Jared Park, the place name? Let me quickly see if I'm going to run back in a Gleaner again. But I think it's at Jared Park or some one of those places in Montego Bay. Come back. Bit 1-2 p.m. Yes, Elaine, I'm going to come back a bit later. I'm going to continue to monitor. I'm going to continue to monitor what is going on across the island from these cameras, as well as I will come back when the weather changes and try to provide you as much update as I can. But the emergency services are saying they are fully prepared. Mandeville Fire Department, so they're prepared. National Waste Solid Management is moving loose debris across the country. Dr. Dave, how are you? Oterius getting ready for Hurricane Beryl. The mayor of Montego Bay, homeless to stay in Jarrett Park during the hurricane season. Those farmers, Ainsworth, who have their pigs and poultry are urged and advised to make sure they secure their livestock ahead of any landfall today. Digicel is saying they are ready for Hurricane Beryl, whatever that means. JPS, they are dismissing any fake news that the system will go down. From yesterday to today, I believe there will be free usage of the toll road, Tuesday and Wednesday. So what today be Wednesday? That applied to today as well, so that everybody can make haste and get themselves out of the path of the hurricane. It was projected that Beryl will begin to hit Jamaica at daybreak, but as we can see, not much the island have been feeling or seeing at the moment, but it is projected to start ramping up the pressure anytime after midday today. But we can see from images coming from across Jamaica where people are battening down the hatches of their roofs and other important building and thing where them can batten down. The public hospitals as well, poorly serviced though they have been put on emergency mode as well, because once the country has been declared as a disaster zone or a disaster area, the health service will also, during Hutchins, will have to operate on high alert. Marta Cooperman Foundation, good morning. Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us, Ainsworth Williams, Mr. Dave. Was anybody not say Megavolt? I told my aunt it was going to be like Gilbert, and she said Gilbert was a category 3, I'm sure. I think they're saying head teacher K. I think it's at 4. It's at 4 at the moment, and possibly by it landfall in Jamaica today, it might wind down to a category 3. So it is still moving fast, but the speed has toned down a bit compared to what St. Vincent and Grenada was hit by its category 5 /4 force. But another thing with this hurricane, it is quite unpredictable where the speed can drop or heightened in a matter of hours. So very much unpredictable, but we hope while it moves its way, it loses more and more of its strength that's live in Kingston from Kingston Harbor at the moment. Flow Network is also saying that they are ready for Hurricane Beryl, whatever, again, I said, that means. That's my tree that I'm monitoring. The Tourism Emergency Operations Center has been activated. So we could see as well where some drains and gully like Sandy Gully and other areas, we see where the authorities are out cleaning them. Sangster and the airport would have been closed from last night, I believe. Prior to the close, American airline and so on put on extra flights to take people out of the country. Not quite sure what is the how all those evacuation went, if enough people managed, enough of the tourists managed to make it out. And Ernestine Butcher, how are you? But it looked more than more likely, Claudette Robinson, that the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance will be receiving their catastrophe bond within a matter of weeks or so. The Prime Minister has already pledged $5 million per constituency from the Constituency Development Fund for disaster relief across the country. Take it from me, Jamaica. That is your catastrophe bond contribution from the 150 to possible 185 million that your Prime Minister will receive. You cannot go around the country saying the Prime Minister did not share the catastrophe bond money with us. You have received your 5 and oopsie daisy out of it as the Prime Minister allocate. So bear that in mind when I'm ready to fight the Prime Minister. May I go say to you, say, remember before the start of the hurricane, the Prime Minister pay on the phone side of the catastrophe ban. Me just go remember on that. Me not go upon him side. Me just go remember on. So don't you remember that you got your payment already? But with that brushed aside, the seriousness, Rupert Legister, the seriousness of it all this morning is us managing to weather the storm without any loss of limb or life. Weathering the storm this morning is about making it through without the loss of any limb or life to the people of Jamaica. We are aware that there has been fatality in the eastern side of the Caribbean where Beryl has left some devastation. Our heart goes out to those families at the moment. I think one in Grenada. I think there's somebody may have died in Barbados. Lennox Reed, how are you? We are hoping that throughout the trajectory of the storm, we lost no more life. As much as I'm worried about Jamaica, I am also worried about Haiti. I'm pretty much worried about Haiti being hard hit by another disaster. But may I go take a little break now, because I want to come back in the next few hours to provide you more updates as things progresses throughout Jamaica this morning. So make sure to hit the notification bell. So when I set this afternoon live, you can come back and let us sit down and look at what is happening together, as well as try to keep up the contact with our family and loved ones in Jamaica during this time. Anthony, how you doing, bro? Well, go on. Thanks, bro. Who else have I seen? But may I go do something then now? I'm going to take a few hours break, and I will definitely be coming back to share with you any further developments that we can identify from our Jamaica Live cameras that we are tapping into this morning. And we are hoping and praying that the people of Jamaica stay safe this morning. So once again, before we go, follow all the instructions coming from the government. Follow all the guidance and make sure arrogance does not stand in your way of safety. We have all been through hurricane before of different magnitude. None is to be taken lightly. Thank you all very much for being here this morning on the Global Television Group. Join us back here in the next few hours, where we will continue to look at the unfolding situation. June Reed, how are you? The unfolding situation taking place on our island with the emergence of Hurricane Beryl. Marcia Garnett, good morning. Good morning. Thank you all very much. Later ahead, Teacher K. Thank you all very much, and we will see you in the next few hours. Thank you very much, and good morning from Global Television.